and she's from the Philippines. Okay, well, hello. In case you guys missed that, I'm not sure when it started. We don't want you not to know what is going on. My name's Nancy Peltonen. I'm President and CEO of the Greater Palm Bay Chamber of Commerce, and you are joining our Brevard Business Professionals. Our guest speaker today is Donna Body with Delos Incorporated, and she is in the Philadelphia area. Donna and her team help her clients use their online presence to grow their business and give their customers a better experience. Delos provides digital marketing strategy, training and implementation, and develops websites designed to grow your business. Donna frequently speaks to business organizations on how to make the web work for them and writes blogs on the Delos website. Go to delosinc.com. Delos is also a certified solution provider for Constant Contact and has consistently earned the All-Star Award for the outstanding marketing results achieved for their customers. She enjoys hanging out with her family, the outdoors, hiking with her dog, and Italian wine. Okay then, without further ado, I will turn this over to Donna Body.
Thank you very much, Nancy. We're going to talk today about email marketing and the importance of using online marketing to build relationships with your customers. A lot of times people, get hung up on what should I say? This whole marketing thing is too overwhelming. What am I going to do? And I think a great thing for people to keep in mind is think of it as building relationships like you do in person, but you're going to do it online. You're going to further getting to know your customers and them getting to know you and your potential customers. So I just want to frame that, and I'm going to share my screen because I have a few slides. I have a lot of information that I'm going to kind of go through, but I'm going to put my information in the chat, and I'm happy to share the presentation with you as a reference after this. So if you'll want to email me on that, I'll be happy to follow up and do that. Let me just put that in there real quick. And I'll have it up at the screen at the end as well. All right, so let's talk about email marketing. Everyone see that fine? Yeah, okay. So you want to use email marketing to grow your business. Your customers and potential customers, this list is one of your assets to your business. And so we want to treat it as Nancy said, I work for Delos in the Philadelphia area, and what we do is make the web review. Introduction, so it pretty much explains what that we're going to do. And today what I want to talk about is a couple of different things quickly, like where does email fit today? Because we hear about social media and or YouTube. Where does email fit in this process? Why is it not working for you? Because a lot of times people tell us they try it and it doesn't work. And so why is it maybe not working for you? One of the important things is getting your emails open. So we're going to talk about tips on how to do that. And then we're going to talk about segmenting and automating. What is some automation things that you can do that make things work really well for you? So email today, it's a different world out there. And we hear about all the apps and this and that and the other thing, and email marketing is dead. Hearing that email marketing is dead for 10 years. Guess what? Is not still the #1 app that's used on people's smartphones. Has anyone checked their email today? Raise your hand if you've checked your email already, right? People read it. And even millennials prefer it. We hear that the younger people, they don't want email anymore, but survey after survey has shown that people would like to hear from businesses via email. And it's reliable and it gets delivered. Because one of the things to think about, and social media is great, and it's a great way to expand and get the word out, but has anyone tried to find an Instagram post from last? It's almost impossible, right? You can't find a post from me. So email sits in someone's inbox until they do something with it. So even if they don't necessarily look at it right away, or they just read your sign or whatever, top like that, and it is, something with that email. Even if deleted, it's something I have. So I don't want to spam people, but it also has still 3 times the conversion of social media. And what does that mean? That people take action on it and it actually brings you more business or more results that you're looking for. Consistent survey that's been out there says you get $44 worth of return on investment for every dollar you spend on email marketing. It is still a very cost-effective way for a business to get in there. Where does it fit in your overall marketing strategy? So I use this graphic here that says, really, you should make your website the center of your strategy. And the reason for that is it is not rented land. It is the platform you own, and you control that. If you do everything on Facebook, Facebook changes the rules all the time, and it's not something that you have control over. They decide what gets shown to who, unless you want to advertise and things like that. But your website is important, because that's still, when people are looking to find something, they typically are still going to go to search. They're going to go to Google and search. In social media, you kind of present things to people and it's incidental. There's not as much searching of intent going on there. It's more like, oh, I'm interested in that. Oh, that's cool. That's fine. But if I'm saying, hey, I really need to find a particular thing, I'm more likely to go there. The stuff on your website lives there for a long period of time. So you want to use all these other channels as outreach to expand beyond, in order to drive traffic back to the presence that you own. So if I have a core message, and that core message is the same as it was last year, well, like I say, on Instagram or Facebook, you can't find something from a few weeks ago, never mind a year ago. But someone can find your message on your website, and you can use that repeatedly, the same message, to out in social media like 6 times a year maybe. So it's a strategy to help you look at things not as individual silos, but as a concerted effort. And email fits in that way too. It's perfectly fine if you put on your website, also goes out on your email, that's also on social media. People have different preferences. Now, you really want to own your traffic. And this is where email becomes really important, because there's really 3 types of online traffic that you can get. You can get paid traffic, which is by doing ad work, and they bring traffic to you. But when you stop paying, that traffic stops coming to you. You can have earned traffic, which means I've got a really good blog post, is performing well, I'm ranking well in local search because I'm doing good with my Google My Business, or you have a viral social media post, things like that are earned traffic. And earned traffic is a very good goal to have. It can take time to build that up, but the 3rd type of traffic is owned traffic, and that is people you can contact whenever you want. And that typically means that you have their email address. So what you should be trying to do is convert your paid traffic and your earned traffic into your own traffic, people that you can contact when you want to. I give you an example. I have a customer, like a hair place, right? Had a big wedding and, booked all Saturday morning because of that wedding thing, and, things got canceled and they had all this time. You put out an email on Thursday, hey, we happen to have a couple openings Saturday morning. Anybody want it? And immediately it was filled because they knew who they could reach. If you put a post on that, like Facebook does not, and maybe a lot of people don't realize this, everything you post is not shown to every one of the people that follow you or like your page. There's an algorithm that decides. And currently, it's about 5% on average. So if you have 100 followers, maybe 5 people will see that post in their newsfeed, which is why when you go to Facebook, and if you have a business page, the first thing it asks you is, do you want to boost this post? In other words, you can pay to show it to more people. Platforms like Facebook are primarily an advertising platform, and that's how they make their money. And that's why they want you to do that. But again, if you have someone's email address and you've gotten permission to contact them, you can contact them when you want. That's an asset for you. Does this concept make sense to you? Because it's really important, and why everybody should have an email list and work on growing on their email list. But people say, I've tried that, but it's really not working for me. So why isn't it working? So there's some challenges that people have. And the first is getting people's permission. Do not go buy a big email list. That's called spam. You want someone to take action to join you. Someone, who is a customer of yours, you can add them to the list. You have processes in place to consistently do this. If, permission-based marketing means I want to hear from you. And, you don't get good results, and you can't even get shut down with some of the email services if you just buy a list or randomly start adding people to it and sending them. And again, I want you to go back to what I started off beginning. Think about your email communications as I am building a relationship with someone over time. If you were coming into my shop every day and I was talking and telling you about some new stuff, or here's an interesting fact about this, you're just going to tell them, not in person, through this medium. Another thing is we, make a really beautiful email on our desktop, and, we look at it on our desktop and it looks great. And we're not considering that more emails are opened on a mobile device than on a desktop. And so if your fonts are too small, you can't click the button because our finger resolution is much larger than the resolution of a, mouse pointer. If it's not a responsive design, if I have to pinch and zoom, I am not opening or reading your email effectively. So make sure that you're testing on a mobile device and that the font's big enough and it looks really great on there and it's short, because we do email in between a lot of other things that we're doing, and we do it on our phone. When you don't look good on mobile, 80% of people delete the email and 30% will unsubscribe. I'm getting your thing, I asked for your thing, but every time I open it, I can't really see it. I don't want to get it anymore. The other mistake people make are it's too long. 7 seconds is about all the time that we have on this. Back in the day, we, kind of told people, oh yeah, take your paper newsletter, send out a monthly newsletter with all of your information. Nobody has time for that anymore. You're much better off sending something once a week or twice a month that's a very short, single focus thing that someone can digest. We call like snack size content, rather than trying to get a whole big long thing, because people just don't have time. I'm not time to read that. So tell me one simple thing. If it's something that, let's say I'm a landscaper and I just did a really cool new project. It could be like 2 pictures of that project and, oh, look at the water feature we put in. And that's it. It's enough to remind people of what you're doing and how you're going. but you should always have a call to action. Sometimes the problem is you don't have a call to action, or sometimes you have too many. If you're asking me to do 20 different things in an email, I'm not likely to do any of them. It's the problem of the paradox of too many choices. This graphic right here has an example of a good thing here. We have our summer class schedules we've announced. One big button, sign up today. It's simple, it's clean, it gets the message across, and it has action. So use buttons as opposed to links, because again, some people put a bunch of links all in a row, and my finger might hit the wrong one because on a phone, it's more difficult to do. So keep it very simple and keep it short and keep it quick. And then there's branding, color, and images. They matter. Sometimes we talk to people and they're like, I don't know, we're getting the traction, and I look at what they're doing, and every week they pick a brand new template. Yeah, there's cool bunch templates in there, and there's always all these different colors, but you are trying to build up recognition for you. So have a consistent brand, your logo at the top, your social media, and having this template is a great way for you to do that. And then you just need to change your content. You want to be recognized. So you want to use, color. It's got to be readable. You don't want to be changing it all the time. And don't use image for content. I see this sometimes where you get, oh, wait, here's our flyer. And it's a graphic. Well, some people don't have images turned on. And they can also they don't scale well on mobile. So if you have this great big graphic that has your event date and time and how to register and all that stuff, and the whole thing is a graphic, you're not going to get as much traction as if you put that information in text where it can be read better. So this is an example of like a best practice template, right? You want to make sure that you use, there's something called teaser text, which is usually the very first thing that you've done this, or a lot of email services call this like a pre-header, and they have a spot for it. This is, in addition to your subject line, the little bit of text that shows before you open it. Be intentional about that. Your subject line and that pre-header text or teaser should make me want to open it, because that's the thing that I see when I decide, am I going to do this? July newsletter is a terrible subject, right? Doesn't tell me anything. You want to be able to do that. But use your consistent logo and branding. This is an example. We do a quick little thing called Tech News Tuesday every week, right? Have a title on there because people want to skim. Have a call to action button. Include your contact information and your social media on everything. So if you have this as a template, you're essentially just going to sub out a couple paragraphs of text every week and put the information in there. It shouldn't take you forever to do it. And you should do it as part of a coordinated thing of everything else that's happening in your business. So you shouldn't sit down and go, what am I going to do on email? Oh, wait, what should I do on social media? What am I going to do on the website? Nobody has time for that. Coordinate your efforts into a comprehensive marketing plan. So then what do you say? Well, you want to be useful, and you want to add value, and you want to educate people, inform them, and entertain. Again, think about that building relationships. I don't know if you have Kohl's down there. I tell people, don't be the Kohl's or the CVS of email marketing, right? You're a small business. You want to be building relationships. These people send out a ton of stuff, and the only time people open them is to say, I wonder what's the biggest coupon they have for a discount right now, right? And then you open it, but you delete everything else. So you have content. I tell people, if you've said something to someone like 3 or more times, that's content that you have for a blog post or a social media post or an email newsletter. What are the questions people are asking you all the time? What's happening in your business, the behind the scenes? Is there a new product? Can you just, tease your content? to be they interest you. So you can think of that in terms of building. What would you say to someone in person when they ask you, hey, what's new about your business? Or, you come in and you want to show them some cool, oh, did you know, like on insurance, there's a that probably fits you. For a nonprofit, people love to see case studies. I want to, if you're volunteers, right, you have to explain and tell the story of what you're doing. And so that's important. And then you're not growing your list, right? It has to be an automatic part of what you're doing. If you get a new customer, they need to get, what's the process for adding them to the list? What's the event? Do we have a segment to actually sign up our newsletter and doing, have to actively grow it. Maybe you're running ads to actively, you've got like a lead magnet information. Grow your list. So, because again, that's your own traffic, that's a valuable resource for you. And the biggest, you want to be familiar and you want to be expected. So I mentioned we do something every Tuesday. It's called Tech News Tuesday. It's a quick little tip. 8:30. Batch them. So, this morning, pushing a button to do. It's funny because I've been introduced to people like, oh yeah, this is Tuesday lady I was telling you about, right? Because, people understand. My chamber here does a morning with the chamber. Here's an event this week. People know, like, if I want to know what's going on this week at the chamber, 7 o'clock Monday morning, they send something out that has the recap of everything. We've got a farmer's market that does Thursday nights. Like, to be consistent to what you are doing, then people who are interested, that it's coming and look for it. Consistency gets traction, and that's whether it's your social media, updating your website, your email marketing. One of the worst things to do is like, oh yeah, we did 3 newsletters in a row and then you didn't hear from us for 6 months. So plan a schedule that's maintainable for you, but be consistent in that. So let's say we got a consistent thing. How are we going to get our emails opened? That's an important thing. So especially now, you've got this all important preview. This is your from name. Make sure you've noticed what your from name is. Sometimes people default and they don't put it. If it's you personally, they're going to recognize, put your name, your business name only, put the business name. It's, sometimes things come in and it's like info and it's like, well, that's the default on something, but it's not really what you want to do. So you want to make sure you have that. Then you have the from name, you have that subject, and then you have that pre-header, which the text that shows while we're scanning our inbox. Those combination you want to be super intentional about. When we write stuff up, we have like a spreadsheet when we do we say, what's the subject line? What's the teaser text or pre-header? What's our content? So that when you read it, it has, so you want to make it 4-7 words in a subject line and then the pre-header. Terrible thing. Here's our February update. Here's our March update, right? Like, what's happening now? Why is this relevant to me and why should I open it? Questions work really good, right? Do you have the perfect gift? Can we help you save time? Those sorts of things pick people's interest. Again, I will send you this. I'm going to kind of go through them quickly here. Alliteration. We look for patterns. 7 simple solutions save, the Friday fun for families. People like things that sound catchy, and alliteration helps that. Today's terrific trendy teas, right? So these are things that tend to work well. allusion to pop culture, right? You know, this is the lawn care does, may the fence be with you, right? People get that reference, right? On doing it. So, you know, related to famous lines are good, you know, so let them eat cake. Oh, and brownies too. We have a brownie special this week, right? So again, you have to make people want to open it. Break up a sentence, right? So, you know, here's the taxers. Taxes, no fun, we love them, right? So just anything to get people like a pattern interrupt thing in there. It has to be relevant, but have a little bit of fun with it. People love lists, right? To, you know, 3 best ways, 5 ways to do this, and you won't believe number 3, or, you know, I mean, that kind of stuff actually works. So people do like the list things, they feel like they can skim it. Don't get more than 9, especially in an email thing. 3 gets good results because I feel like, oh, it's going to be quick. I can read my 3 top tips for a certain thing. Emojis help because it kind of helps you stand out a little bit if you use emojis in your subject line. And, you know, personalization. When you're using your email marketing software, you often have the ability to put someone's first name, like, oh, Susan, it's pizza o'clock. Like it gets my attention if my name is Susan and I see it's right in my in there. So again, mixing it up is important, but really paying attention to that. Things on open rates and getting open, more important as Apple makes some more changes in mail for privacy coming in the next version, where you won't necessarily be able to track reliably who has opened. So your call to action and who clicks is going to be much more important. And so in order for somebody to click, though, they have to open. So you got to pay attention to some of these things. Things to avoid, right? All the spam words, weight loss, capital letters, many dollar signs, you know, these things can land you in spam. And so you don't want to do that. And you can test it out. Some software has an A/B testing, lets you test 2 different subject lines. So half your list sees one, half another, and you can see what's working better. So that's important too. And then I want to talk about segmentation and automation. So again, especially with the just coming with Apple's mail, and one of the main reasons for unsubscribe is they feel like it's not relevant to them. And so, you know, your customers really, they want a relationship with has, you know, they're know the people. So you want to send stuff that is personalized, that's building a relationship, but personalized to what I want. So I have a friend who has a bunch of cats. He's got 5 cats, you know, and he gets so annoyed when the local pet store sends him all the dog food specials. They know he likes cat, you know, he doesn't have a dog, right? So why would you send that, right? So segmenting your list is something to think about. Use the data, right? Find out who's opening, who's clicking, who's unsubscribing. A lot of times you can segment by saying, you could even have like 2 buttons. What are you, dog or cat? You could have people click that and segment them off into a dog list or a cat list, and then use that further to tailor information. Do you get when you are personalizing using the data? We have, you know, there's different ways to personalize based on location. You can personalize basically on just about anything. So automation is also really important. What kind of an automated series can you have? So this is great for like onboarding. Let me use the chamber as an example. Let's say you have a new member. you could have them get the new member onboarding series, which would be like maybe, a series of like 4 emails over a month, once a week, that talks about, oh, here's the benefit of the chamber, you can do this. Here's something else, benefit of a chamber, you can do that. And then it's automatic, and it's every time somebody comes in. An automated series gives you the opportunity, whether it's a sales series or a new customer series, or if someone's interested in a particular product, to set up your best messaging and have it be automatically sent to people on a follow-up, even if I've clicked a button at 2 a.m. on a Wednesday night. But maybe I've gotten busy and I've not had the opportunity to do that. So that's really a quick overview. Like I said, we're happy to send you the information, but we are a solution provider for Constant Contact, and they have offered me, if you guys do not have a email marketing system set up, I like Constant Contact for a lot of small businesses, especially if you're not very tech savvy, because they actually have people who will go into your account and help you. There are some options that are out there that are perfectly free, but I said it's not free if it takes you 7 hours to send out an email, because there's no tech support or help on how to do it, right? So they have offered 30% off for 3 months if you want to try it out. There is a link up there. It's try email. I will also stick it in the chat here. We can set you up with it, and also a custom template for you, and there's no credit card required or anything. To try it out, practice it, and you decide you want to do that, we have that Q as well. Put up information as well. I'm going to in chat right now, John. I don't like how Zoom takes your screen and changes it all. So I think we have maybe just a little bit of time for a couple questions if anyone has it.
Yeah, is there anyone that has any questions? We have about 3 minutes before 9:30.
I have a quick Doma.
Yes.
When you were about emails not being dead, I was so happy, because we hear that message so often, and that people, companies have changed strategy to focus more on the social media platforms. But I love what you said, making the website the center that drives all the traffic back to you, whether it be social media, Facebook, etc., etc. So thank you for that. I really found it informative. I was actually going to leave early, but I couldn't. I wanted to hear everything you said. Thank you.
And Donna, can I ask one question? If we have a list and people haven't opened an email like ever that we sent out, do you suggest kind of dropping those off? I know that they still have to, as you say, delete the email message, but if they've never opened anything, you think that it's then time to just drop them off the list?
Sometimes, like, open rates are not reliable. So people can have images turned off. They're usually done by this 1 pixel image thing, right? And Google and Gmail caches those. Apple's going to turn that off altogether. So, again, if it's not, something that's hurting your thing, you can occasionally send out something, hey, are you still interested in us? Click here and we'll keep you on the list, or not click there on it. But in general, I don't worry about it too much. You definitely want to clean up all your bounces and things like that. I mean, I have people that reply back. I've been doing this weekly email now for several years, many years. And, they reply back all the time. People like, I saw you speak like 4 years ago at this SBA thing. And I'm like, and I look back at their opens and they're sporadic, or they don't, like, it doesn't look like they're engaged. But then, they didn't unsubscribe, and they could have been opening it. It's just the opens are tricky. They're getting less reliable in that sense, especially with the changes with Apple coming this fall with their new version. They're going to have something called privacy mail that lets you not actually check. Like, you can say, I don't want anybody to know that I've opened this email. And the tracking that they announced recently, do you want to be tracked or this or that? Like 90% of people opted out and said, no, I don't want to be tracked. So it's going to require a little bit of change in strategy.
Donna, what about the unsubscribed people? That is people that certainly we should from our database.
No, if they've unsubscribed, I believe you cannot actually erase them, because it's a preference, and that works out good. Like, a lot of customers might bring something into their email marketing from their like customer list or something, and when you back in again, remember that they've unsubscribed. They can always resubscribe themselves, but you can't add them back in again. So that's like a good way to make sure you're keeping people's preferences. But bounce, like, because people change email all the time, or they leave companies, or they move, you delete those. But the unsubscribes, I think a lot of software doesn't even let you delete unsubscribes because they're keeping track of that. It would be a way around it to like add people back again, right? But again, that's going to get you reported as spam. And you really want to send to people who want to get to know you, and you want to get to know them. So again, building relationships is the way to look at it.
Well, thank you, Donna. That was fabulous information. I took some notes because I know that we are always trying to improve the emails that we send out, and we do use Constant Contact, and it is easy to manage and utilize. So for those of you that haven't tried it, it is a great platform. So thank you for joining us. For the rest of you that didn't get all the information that I mentioned as going on this month, please check our calendar on our website, greaterpalmbaychamber.com, and we have printed calendars here in the office if you want to pop and say hi. But everything is there on our Facebook page. We do post a lot on that as well. So we appreciate you being here this month. Once again, thank you to Donna Body. That was great information, and I think, every time we hear it, it's a little bit different, and so it's always very informative. So thank you so much. And for the rest of you, have a great business week, and we look forward to seeing you again soon at one of our upcoming events this week.